Just
These are messages from chips on the inside of your skull. And to drive the physical comparison.
okay. So I'll be working here on the area here, and this one thing I figured out that brushes like this, when dry, it's a squirrel hair brush, really nice for creating smooth blendings like this. Unfortunately, these are cheap. Unfortunately, they're shedding, and I'm trying to figure out how to add glue here inside, but I tried acrylic medium, let it dry, but kind of melted when I washed it with the brush. So I don't know. So today I will be painting most of these areas here, and listening to some YouTube videos in the process, because you know how it is. So I hope you guys are doing fine. There's also this new feature for YouTube where you can like have auto translation with audio, and that's cool, but I don't know how to do it though. I've been having all this recommendations lately, like brushwork stuff, and it's mostly a Western thing, right? Like, impressionism and stuff. It's mostly it's a kind of thing that makes people think like painting is easy. This is like it's something else. Like I discussed this a while ago. It has layers of expertise in it, and like I said, it's not to cast shade on it, but it's like painting lazy, right? So you create these patches of paint with an intent of blending them, but you don't actually blend them, which creates this effect of unfinished work that makes the audience mind work the outcome instead of no, Gemini, what are you doing? I don't know though. So if just how I like to look at it, I like to see it so I can understand the process, but I'm sure there's another way of looking at it. Like imagine if I'm using a large brush here, right? I'm not going to be able to paint this exact angle here. What I'm gonna do is just plant like a stroke here, like here maybe, then plant another stroke here. To, you know, like if I had like a big brush like this one, let's say, I won't be able to paint this area, right? So what I'm gonna do is just paint here with a light, a thin amount of paint, and then just add a thicker one here later, right? Thicker one here. Then if you were going to move forward with that, like blend it, then you just use your fan brush, right? So sometimes when you come from this, if I were going to like move from this to a more painterly approach, I wouldn't think of it like each brush stroke counts, but I would just think of the process as like I was going to like push it, but I'm just gonna plant the paint right now, and later, you know, do the blending later, and then just leave it. So, you know, sometimes that helps. Obviously, I did that with the other painting, but I did blend some of the areas. So it was mostly like a standard uh, painting. It wasn't an actual like intentionally loose brushwork work. I just painted hoping to blend it later, but you know, I was just focusing on the colors, the paint and stuff. I wasn't too concerned about the edges, but you know, it was still there. I was still thinking about the edges, of course. But here in this process, what I'm doing here is trying to grasp actually the intensity and the enjoyment of having to create smooth, atmospheric uh, shapes without making it like making it too digital, still having that grit that I really appreciate, that I really like. And it's quite normal for my brain to like to approach something like that, because like I said, when I was younger, I really like to draw gritty textures and stuff. So in a way, I don't use the gritty effect to create textures. It's just that I like to see shapes gritty, you know, in a gritty way. Like my lines would not be like single strokes, they would be hair, it would be like having edges everywhere. So that's what I appreciate in art. Like when you see the Metal Gear Solid artwork, what I see there is not the what do you call that in the psychiatrist tool. They use this like ink blots, right? I don't see it that way, but rather I don't see the ink blots, but I appreciate the chaos in there. In a way, that's me a mix of chaos and ordered chaos, you know. For lack of better way to describe it. Still keeping like clean edges here, but you know, I don't really like to keep it strictly hard like that. There's always just this blur that I like, and that's not too, you know, when you do it too much, gonna make it washed out, and there's certain points that's gonna work in my vision, of course. For others, they might call it crazy mistake. To me, like it makes sense to me. Like for example, here it kind of looks dirty, right? Kind of looks messy for some, but I think it's just normal for me. Like it's the way I think that creates all of this. Like when I blended this is what I liked. This is the I was approaching this like I was trying to make this. It doesn't look like everything is blurred. There's edges there. Yeah, it's not everything is blurred or edges, and to me that makes sense. I really like it. I really like it. And when you know the pleasure of, you know, it doesn't matter if people like your style or not, but the struggle is finding the way the way you want things to appear. It's not about style. Like a lot of people are looking for style, right? Like what style should I try to mimic or try to create, or like how do I find my style, stuff like that. And it's really not about that. It's that the mistake there, the danger there is you're approaching this commercialization of yourself, right? You're trying to find something that would appeal to others, and that's a grave mistake. Like I have run through that for so many years, and you know it doesn't really matter. This people don't resonate with something like that. Although you can create something that might be popular right now, but it's not going to be something that would echo in people's like consciousness, because you know it's just for you, it's still artificial. It's just something you picked up, you trained for, and every brushstroke that you're gonna do, every work that you're gonna create is kind of this manufactured thing. So it's kind of like artificial, and I know for certain that things like this, there's this kind of uh, they call consciousness, right? There's this kind of realm where our minds are actually connected. Like for example, when someone like texts you, right? It's just a text, it's just a message, it's just a comment on a video or something, but you kind of have a feeling, right? You kind of get this idea of what this person is looking like, how he's feeling, right? Even if he sounded like a professional, you kind of have this intuitive understanding of, you know, what this message is all about. Is it a kind message? Is it a friendly message? Is it, you know, even if we're in a digital world separated, we don't see each other's faces, we don't even explain our intention, we kind of feel it. We feel the passive aggressiveness, you know. So my point is that things that we do as humans, right now we can't explain it. We don't have explanations for it, since our understanding of consciousness and mind has been like stifled with it was in the past it was called like spirituality, right? There's this spiritual realm that we can actually access, or is interacting with us, or we are interacting with, and it kind of people kind of institutions kind of abused it, and made it like veiled it with all of this stuff, and then then the reaction of centuries, it turned this thing off, right? We kind of just don't approach it anymore, but it's still in effect. You can still feel what somebody is intending, right? Is it artificial? Is it fake? You kind of have a feeling about it. If it's and it's hard, it's not something you can explain, right? So for me, it's too costly for a young person to trying to strive to air quotes look for his style, right? We know how that is. Like, you browse through all of this, like you follow someone, you look for the style that you like, and you try to mimic it, and then you just fail because there's just one thing that it doesn't click. You kind of like to watch, to see his paintings or her paintings, but when you do it, even if you copied it, his style, it just doesn't click with you. It doesn't feel right, right? So that's what, for me, my advice for young ones out there is to find, like, when you're drawing or creating paintings, what you want to do is explore yourself, like, meaning they call it express yourself, but that's also the meaning of that has also changed over the years. Try to find yourself, like, draw a picture, and if you don't like it, like, ask yourself, why don't I like this? Is it the lines? Is it the color? Right? Is it my shapes? In the beginning, in the past, like when you look at my DeviantArt, right, you kind of see that this type of painting, this type of the shapes here, like how I shade, like how I see things, it's always there. It has always been there. I can't escape it. And but I have learned to understand myself. I have learned to appreciate that when I just try to paint something. When I painted something like those, there was this one time when a friend of mine online, like, he was a modder for StarCraft 2, so they kind of hired me, quote unquote, to work as an artist, a lead artist for their mod. They were trying to create this a race, right? It's like a Zerg race that has different characteristics. So I tried to create concept art for them, right? But I wasn't really in on it. Like, I was just, it was just a chill thing for me. It was like something just some friends do, right? It's a project for friends, by friends. I wasn't too serious about it. I wasn't thinking about what style I'm gonna use, stuff like that, right? So I just painted stuff, and then I realized that if I do things like that, not only does it feel more natural, easier, it also feels more like liberating. It kind of has this effect. Like you're not even thinking about your strokes. You're not even thinking about your colors. You're just trying to create something, right? Just image, this idea. I want to put it out there in your way. And I understand that the techniques that I have, these things that I have, didn't just come like naturally. Like I had to like refine it, right? But in that sense, even in that sense, when you're refining something that is natural to you, it's just like, it's just like bringing it out more, like making it better, like making the way you speak more fluent. But that's how you speak, right? That's how you express yourself, right? So you don't wanna, you don't, we can't really like talk like Joe Rogan, for example. We can talk like him. We can try to mimic him, his voice, the way he reacts, the way he uh, leads into his points, right? But we can't really be him forever. Like we can try, we can make a skit and try to be like him, but that's not gonna feel natural to us, right? And the more we try to refine ourselves into that, with that, we're just wasting our time, right? It's better for you to use that time, that energy, to like see the higher self. Your, like, this is what they call your like higher self, your better self, right? And to approach that, to reach that, is just to just, if you don't like what you're doing right now, then your brain is gonna naturally like think, okay, I don't like that line, I don't like this, I'm gonna do better next time, right? I'm gonna do something else next time. I'm gonna try this next time. I'm gonna try this brush, or maybe this paint, this set of colors. I'm gonna try this palette. Like, that's the fun thing about this, about art. And the danger, really, what will stunt your growth as a person, because for me, like in my video, art is, you are the art, right? You are the one that's producing this stuff. And unlike a large language model or an image generator, we don't actually, we don't have a library of images that we mesh together, right? Like we find the lines that is present in this art. We don't really do that. We can, but that's going to like be painful. So that's a good way to live as an artist. What we actually do is this word, right? This term express. It's like we bring what is inside of us out, like our higher self. We try to achieve this higher self, this self that we really enjoy, right? This self that really speaks to us. It's not there yet, right? It's not there yet because there are times that our lines, we don't like this. I don't really like this shape here, like the way this cloth here is being modeled. I don't really like this language of like sausage stuff. To me, it looks like a sausage, right? So unlike these language models, these image generators, we actually make ourselves, right? We make ourselves, but there is this self that we are trying to make. Like there's already this thing, this reality, that if we actualize that, it's going to make us feel really good, right? So if we can actualize this type of shapes that are in our paintings, like some people have like hard, like stiff edges, and that's cool, right? You can see it in digital art a lot, like how people play with the edges. Like for example, here they can like make it soft here and then just go straight here and then just put it there, right? So again, it's different. And if we go in the route of commercialization, we're trying to become something that we think people would buy or consume. I think that's very demeaning to your spirit, and it's not healthy for an artist to go that route. And it's gonna put you in a position where you're gonna feel artificial, and anything artificial that comes out that can do the things that you wanted to do better, you're gonna feel robbed of the opportunity that you have sacrificed for, right? It's a different story when the AI like actually copies your style, mimics the way you do it, right? It's a different way. That's a different way. It's a different case. It's like identity theft, right? Because like again, human artists uh, actualize their style, their art. They bring it out from themselves. The way, it's like how you speak, right? Your voice, your intonation, everything. And when an AI just copies that, it's actually identity theft. Because that's you, that's your voice. And that's what non-artists don't understand. And even some artists, right? That the way we create the shapes, like this shirt can be done by other artists in a different way, right? The way I did it here might seem wrong to somebody else. Might seem like, okay, I can do that better. Let me do it this way, right? But me, this is the most natural thing that I approach. I am approaching to this, right? I'm not totally unconscious working here, right? But this is how like the way things are right now, the way I paint everything is me. So as a young artist, my advice would be not to look for your style, but to actualize yourself, make yourself be, to unleash yourself. Find that stroke, find that line that you really like, right? Draw your own lines. Think about it, like what don't I like about this? And don't thing is also this quest for appreciation from others, validation, that's really just a symptom of fakeness, because you're trying to do something that is not you, right? You're trying to be something that is not you. And when people don't like appreciate it, don't validate how you've achieved, where you are in your quest to detach from yourself, then it's gonna hurt, right? So that pain should be like a hint to you that okay, just I'll just be myself. I don't care, because that's the path that you're gonna go through, right? If nobody cares about your art, you're just gonna do things because you like it, the way you like it, right? Doesn't matter. And then that's where your pleasure comes from. That's where the experience of actually being the artist that you are comes, and then the pleasure of it, the experience of that, experience of having been able to actualize who that artist inside you is, so much more valuable than the praise that other people would say. And if you rely on praise, it's not gonna end well. Why? Thing is, people are fickle. They change their mind depending on how they feel today. And if you base your life, your thinking, your appreciation, your ways on people, and if they change your mind, you're just gonna be cast away into like, okay, so what do they like now? How should I behave now for them to like me still? So you're gonna become like a slave, right? A pleasure machine for these people who just, you don't even know why they're there, why they're saying the things they're saying. I've seen people like appreciate someone, like they put the likes and more. A person who don't give much effort to his work, they put like likes and all of that. It doesn't make sense. I wondered, like, are these people here for the art or for the clout? Are they attaching themselves to this guy because he's rich? There's a lot of reasons why people follow someone. Right? And that's very dangerous if you create a delusion for yourself, in a way. Like you're gonna fall into this trap of a delusion that these people like your art or like you, and all the while you're not being true to yourself in your work. It's a double damage. You not only have lost yourself, lost disconnected from yourself, and unable to were not you did not give yourself the pleasure of actualizing yourself. And that is the highest form of pleasure as a being of consciousness, is to actualize yourself. It's not being taught right now. People are rather lost, and sometimes this turns into crazy stuff just simply because they've been consumed by, let's say, a victim mentality and stuff like that. Right? There's a lot of things that can, but it always starts with this being unable, or choosing to deny yourself in a way that you look not for the true self. You're kind of just living somebody else's conception of you, and that's going to create a lot of resentment. And I don't want you to go there, right? I want you to find the best self. I want you to enjoy that. I think that's what happened to Leonardo, right? He's trying to please people. Because in his deathbed, he asked, like, have I given justice to nature? Like, have I done good? Like, when he died, he was not like, he was asking if he was, it's like a slave, right? I think that's why he was both resisting it, right? He was like not finishing his work because he doesn't want to feel rejected or unappreciated, or he feels like uh, it's either that or he actually subconsciously feels like a slave to these people, like he's trying to uh, battle this feeling of having to please others, right? All the while trying to please others for acceptance or for, quote unquote, like done a good job in the eyes of these people. I don't know. This is just my speculation about him, but you know, why did he say that when he was dead? He was dying. When he looked back at his life, he's not even like sure of what he's doing. Right? He was just being pulled along. It seems like, right? So why would you ask, like, have I done, like, who's the standard? Somebody must be a standard. Somebody must be able to answer him, right? So there's a standard there somewhere. And I think that battle, like, wage on until time of the Impressionists. And even the Impressionists kind of fell into that because people like Van Gogh just did his thing. I'm not sure if he struggled with identity. He was not appreciated, right? People didn't like his work. I think he was criticized. I mean, these critics, man, they're like, you're a narcissistic parent, right? Who sets up these standards for you to reach. And it's the weirdest thing. I mean, why? Why are you gatekeeping? Why are you not appreciating someone's work as their own work? Why are you judging them, their work? So you can like corner the market? It's politics. Most of this is politics, and you have to be careful with that. But when you have the strength of character, people will notice, people will know, and then people will begin to see the way you see things. If not today, then in the future, right? I don't know if you watched the Van Gogh movie, the Sunshine. Oh, what was that? That was, I forgot the title, but there's this Van Gogh by the actor was William Defoe. Was it William Defoe? It was really nice. It was really good. It was made by Christian Broadcasting, CBS. And in that film, he actually the shot was not a suicide. It was uh, an accident by these kids that keeps bullying him, and he didn't tell because that kid is gonna get punished, and you know he doesn't consider himself worthy. Like he finds himself like not having any worth because he's just a dependent, right? He's a dependent to his brother who takes care of him, and he's not contributing to anything. That's I think that's what he felt. He was trying to reach for things that are low quality. I think he felt that he has no value, and that's a sad part about him because he couldn't see himself, and that's the thing that we don't want to happen to us, right? Especially in our art. When you try to like mimic others, just look for other people's approval instead of exploring yourself. Like find the line that you really like, find the shape that you really like when you paint a still life, right? And if you like it, then yeah, don't be over critical, because when you're over critical it means that you're basing your perception on somebody else. Like again, you're like comparing yourself to this thing that you idolize. And when painting, like for me as an example, right, I usually take a long time even in digital painting because I really like to scribble like this. I really like to do it. I don't know. I don't have the mind of, you know, uh, commercial mind. Like, I don't mind if it takes a year for me to paint a picture, 5 years, whatever. As long as I enjoy every step. I don't have to like win every step, right? I could fail. Like for example, this painting, I failed in the first attempt. You saw that. There's evidence of that here. You know? So yeah, I guess that would be my message for today for someone out there. Maybe someone needs that. Apply it to other things like in your life. Not it's not a rebellious thing. Like don't go into this rebellious mode because it's also a trap. Like find peace in the fact that find the appreciation that in this world there are many things that are not the same, and that's how it should be, and that's where interesting things come from. That's the pleasure there. When you can't, then when you appreciate somebody's style, it's a gift to you. Even if you can't do it, it's a gift, right? Because from that you derive pleasure. You are like something in you has been like really vertical or ignited, whatever it is. Like tasting food, right? It's like food. Like there's always this flavor when you cook, right? When you're cooking, I don't know if you're cooking. When you cook, you always have this. You have this flavor that you always make, even if you follow like a strict menu, cookbook. Even if you follow a cookbook, you're always going to create your your food to have this like taste. There's always a taste to your food that you can't escape. Even if you follow the exact instruction, 100%, right? Your food is going to taste different. That's also in art. And that's good. It's not a rebellion like when we do art or anything in life. It's not rebelling. We're not doing this out of anger or spite. We do it because we appreciate uh, the uniqueness of things and how much of that uniqueness has been actualized, has been fully expressed is up to you now. Your uniqueness. Yeah. So I hope that helps somebody out there. These are reminders to myself too, because when I past couple of months, I went into this depression, like something weird, curse or something. I was like in this mindless state. I was like so deep. This I was kind of drunk for how many months? I didn't even realize the time of how much of it has kind of passed by me. I think I was cursed or something. And sometimes it's I kind of slowly try to think about it. I kind of slowly wondered why I was there and why I don't feel like painting when art is like part of my being. It's part of, I was always doing art when I was young. I was always grabbing that paper. Instead, while listening to the teacher, I was drawing stuff, and I got like punished for it because the teacher thought I wasn't listening. But I still got higher grades than those kids who were just up front. Actually, more to me, it's like I'm open to this to more relaxed mode. to learn when I'm doing this. It's kind of have been a part of me. I was wondering why it was there. Why am I not like if I think about painting, I kind of feel like there's this heavy feeling, like an exhaustion that falls on me. I don't understand it. So I slowly try to come out of it. Even watching YouTube videos about art, it just like there's just this huge, like heavy feeling that comes over me. It's like somebody cursed me. Like that's what I thought. How it felt. Like somebody, there's something, there's a force that is not me, unnatural, that is affecting my conscious mind, and it's not good. And videos like this help me. Like I was browsing to my, so I kind of like transformed to this different person. Actually, I was like, it's like I became something else. I started watching my videos, even if it was hard, it was heavy. I just turned it on, and if I kind of fell asleep having it on, I just kept listening to myself talking. Kind of helped me, kind of brought me back to myself. Slowly I started to do crafts again, like I had to feel better again, more hopeful, more alive. I started to like to purchase art supplies again, so it's kind of like I was coming back to myself after watching my own videos. So sometimes it helps to create for yourself like this library. And YouTube is like it's free, like you can store your diaries there. You don't have to make it public, you can set it to private. It's gonna be your like personal uh, diary, video diary, right? You can come back to when something doesn't feel right, when you're lost or something. Not everything is about money. Not not everything is less than money. Like, there are things that are more valuable. The potential for wealth. You are more valuable. Wealth. Don't lose your soul over it. Thinking about monetizing yourself. And I see this like in many circles. How kids are worried because how can I make money from my art now that AI is here? They're so worried because they're thinking about art as a source of income. You don't want to do that. It would be nice to do that, but when you're working for a studio, you're not working as yourself. You're just a machine there, just a hand in the pipeline. You're just another cog in the wheel. Your vision doesn't matter there. And some kids think that, that's the point. But you have, unless you're this art director, even them, they don't even have the final say. It's not actually freedom. You're when you're monetizing your art, your way of, to some people it doesn't, art doesn't matter if it's not linked to some kind of money. Some people like art is meaningless if it doesn't make money. Like it's always the thing. Like it's always the question: are you gonna sell? Did you sell? Like they're weighing their options, in a sense that, should I do art based on the potential revenue that they're gonna earn with it? Weird. That's not what it is. Sure, like in the past, like even the old masters, they were like the picture makers. Like, of course, they monetized and were felt proud. But it was a different world, because in that world, your style, yourself, is actually the value. Like that's where the value is. The art of your art is actually what's being valued. But right now, it's something else. Try to work in the Disney and stuff. Disney already has his art. The studio already has its image. So you're gonna have to play to that. Like if you've seen like anime studios, like there's one guy there that has the vision, and then you're just gonna try to copy his style. You're not gonna paint there in your style. You're gonna paint in somebody else's style, and that's cool at first, but it's gonna get tiring. Like over the years, how many of these like Blizzard employees, Blizzard artists have seen that just left the company after 10 years of working there, or 5 years, or 4 years, and then they complain about, like, it becomes money. It's no longer about passions. It's gonna branch out to every problem that you can think of, because the truth is, you're being drained, you're being used, you're gonna feel used, and that's not the way to approach art, because it is, especially if it's your part of your being, part of your passion. Talent, right? A talent is not like something you do well for money. It's like a curse, right? It's like something, a passion in you that you have to do. But if you don't do it, like nothing matters. Like some people might even testify, right? Like they hate working their job because they're called to their easel. Like you have to do this. It's a compulsion, right? It's something that's talent. The passion is the gift, not the skill. Of course, the skill follows because there's part of you that wants to come out, and this, the topic that I've been talking about the whole way since the beginning. There's this part of you that wants to actualize, to come out, to be birthed. Be actualized into this world, and you don't want to think about it like something to monetize. That's going to destroy you, right? Sure, you can like brag to it on the internet or to your family. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing work here that I'm using my skills, my art skills. That's not bad also, of course. You can do that. You know, if you just keep things balanced, right? Of course. Like work, you can just do work and then always come back to yourself. That's going to be fine. But if your sole focus is, you forget the important part, that's going to be detrimental to your health as a person, because you're wired differently. You're an artist. You're not wired to get a lot of money selling stocks and struggling with that. You're not wired to like always be experimenting about the best flavor for this lemon cake. That's their passion. That's their curse, right? Let's just call it a curse, because to juggle our brains a little bit, to dislodge it from common understanding of words. Let's call it a curse. Give it more of an impression, like a feeling of this inescapable thing that you are compelled to do. And if you don't do it, it's like these horror movies, right? Like you have to pass this along or else. I have to rest my back. And I hope that helps, right? Get you start to think more, consider your position. A young artist or as an old artist. It may help put you back on track. And that's really my intention. That's all I really want to do. To get you back where you want to be. A lot of things in this world can like pull us away from the things that are a gift to us, right? The gift. Don't let it steal. Don't let other people steal it from you. And it's so easy to lose it, because in the world there's a lot of voices out there. Some will tell you like, okay, that's not the right way to do it. Here's the right way to do it, but in reality they're just selling your product. So be careful, be careful. Yeah, for me the most important thing is you, right? Your journey in this life. In the end, that's all there is. You're gonna be alone in yourself, and you're gonna ask yourself questions, right? You're gonna feel, if you're not very like self-aware, there's a danger there that you're gonna feel robbed of a life, like you gonna die without living. That's the saddest part. Some people, best moments in life is, short. But those were the times they were truly living the life, like that that actually was, you know, made them. It was the moment when they were so true to themselves, and it wasn't doesn't have to drag too long. That's, that was their best moments. Like being in love, right? Your truest self is expressed. So careful out there. Don't just, but you kind of feel it. Like, always this like harrowing feeling. For me, I kind of feel like this tingling inside my body. Like this, it's weird. It's like I've just drank poison, and it feels like, whoa, something's not right in this video. The way this person is talking, looking at me. I think this is a trick. Like, there's something here. He might be honest, he might be truthful with his intentions, but kind of doesn't feel right. So it's not for me. Not resonating good. Not from God. Because God is good. If it's not good, not good. If it doesn't feel good, it's always like this feeling of like poison, toxicity inside if you're not in the right place, not the right time. Gonna feel weird. I'm sure you felt that before. Like our instincts, right? You're in this dangerous place, or someone like invited you, then you went to this place, and as you were going there, like even leaving your house, wearing your dress, there's kind of like this feeling of doesn't feel right to go, right? And it's best to listen to that, because we have faculties that present day science hasn't unlocked yet, hasn't looked into even, and they're beginning to do that. Like in this psychic, this there's this children, right? Psychic, they can guess the card before it's even pulled. They know what card you're gonna pull from that deck. We have these things that science hasn't looked into and just cast aside as some, even without understanding it, they just cast it aside because it's not in the current zeitgeist. Just listen to your gut. And if your gut is not working, like, just calm down and believe that not everything. You don't have to answer to everything. Most people who has lost their natural instincts are people who have been like in an abusive environment, that they have no like autonomy, or their personal feelings haven't been respected or acknowledged. So just if in the past, like there was this weird thing that's happening to me. Like it wasn't a delusion. People think that science would call it a delusion, but I think it was psychological. Like it's because of trauma and a prolonged exposure to abuse that wasn't like physical abuse, it was emotional abuse. It's because of this that I was wondering why, I was always leading into things that doesn't make me happy. Like if I do something that potentially would actually be for my own good, there's things that happen. Like I sabotage myself, would start to feel like depressed and stuff like that. So I mean, without too much revealing too much of my own history, it's also best to look at this stuff. If you find that you're in at odds against yourself, like you can't, you don't even like think that you deserve to be, to look at yourself. So you don't even deserve to evaluate, like come to this, evaluation that you don't even think like you deserve good things. Even if you do think that, you kind of feel like you have this bitterness inside you, like a victim mentality, like you kind of have resentment along with that, like I deserve good things, and then you have the resentment, and that's like a sign of trauma. So you have to like heal that, like look into that, because it's gonna disrupt, and this world there are really just few friends out there who will actually like donate their life for you, would actually swim to that deep ocean and try to rescue you, even if there's a risk of them losing their own lives in the process. And most people, even today, like in the past, this has always been the case, right? It's just very normalized right now. Like people can see whatever they want on the internet and people believe them. You have to be careful, because there was this in my experience, right? That's why I can see this in other creators out there. Because in the past, in my that was before the internet, artist there was an artist here that actually, and it was not just an artist, there was a classmate of mine, like I kind of thought he was a good guy, and he was giving me advice and stuff, and it kind of ruined my life. His advice was actually not good advice. They were actually leading me to things that are not good for me. They encouraged me to things that wasn't actually in line with who I'm trying to be. I wasn't those things that they were trying to lead me into. They don't even do it, right? It's like it's another form of, you can call it like bullying, but it's actually for me, it's actually like murder, trying to kill you, who you are. And some people don't realize it. They just think it's funny, but when it comes to worse, when you can see it in the psychopaths, they actually destroy people's lives, but it is there in just a very subtle way in other people. They don't they don't even know it. They think they're leading you to a good place, It's fun, it's funny, right? To them it's funny, it's all about funny, being, you know, experimental. But they haven't thought about it in your case, like what would happen if you would do it. So be careful. And there's this artist who gave me advice as well, but he wouldn't do it himself. It was bad advice. There were things that people claim to be, appear to be, but they're not really. It's a trap. And it's always everywhere. Like, we still have markets here without, we even have laws, right, for markets. For products, you have standard retail prices because people will try to extract things from you. Did you minimize the competition? And you don't even consider them as competitors. They just, even if you're not that good, especially if they can feel like you're genuineness, you're living this life like you're a happy person. There are happy persons out there, but they're not a lot of them. Most people are miserable people. So be careful. I think that's always come back, like, look at yourself, consider yourself, right? Anyway, we're going too far. I need to rest my back. Hope that helps you. That can be a good guide. Not really something to follow, but to make you start thinking, right? You start to, you know, think, question, investigate things, instead of just being like mindlessly being led by your feelings, which by feelings and by hype or by fear or guilt. And some artists do that. Like some creators actually do that. They use guilt, like, this is not the right way to go, you're doing it wrong. So that's the guilt, right? That's the guilt trip. There's this channel that sells courses, and when you listen to their ad, it's like, whoa, bro, why the guilt trip, bro? They're gonna accuse you of things, and they're gonna call you, gonna make you feel worthless, like unbeautiful or ugly or wrong or making a mistake. And after that, they sell you the product. It's the oldest way, it's the oldest technique. That's what, you know, manipulators do. First they attack, first they acknowledge, they know that you're insecure, like you're looking for answers, right? But sometimes, you know, that's why it's important to know why we're looking for these answers, why we're even browsing other art channels out there looking for a ways, you know, or inspiration. And again, that's the point that I made at the beginning of this video and throughout this video, the theme of this video, because we have to realize that it's the highest form, the highest achievement that we really want is actualization. We want to actualize ourselves because we are the art. You. You are the one who is refining you. You can't let others refine you by you copying them or believing their bullshit about how bad you are. And you know, this video acknowledges, like, this ad, this entire 30 minute, oh maybe it's 20 minute, oh 15 minute ad or 10 minute ad for a course. I think they know that you as an artist are insecure. Like, most artists are not insecure about their work, about their technique, about the way they paint, because, and they call it insecurity when it's not really insecurity. And if you think the way I do, like, if you think your goal is actualization, you're not gonna consider your being unsure as an insecurity. It's not insecurity. You're growing, you're looking for that next step, right? You're looking for that, your, which part of you are you gonna, like, how do I refine this? Like, what refinement feels good, right? It's like adding more ingredients to your cooking, right? Like, how much salt should I put? Like, how much of this should I add? So that's where we are. We're not actually insecure. We're looking for answers. We're looking for inspiration, for this spark that makes us realize, oh yeah, that's what I want. That's what I need. That's where I'm being called to develop. That's where I want to express myself better, right? To, like, for example, your lines, your shapes, and you saw this artist, like, paint these shapes, and then you realize, oh, that one shape is that, I like that. I like the way that looks, the way that was delivered into the canvas, and that's what I want. Yeah, so sometimes we're just looking for that, and this video, this ad, capitalizes on that, right? Like, they know that we artists have that state. We're in that state of, like, this searching, and most people just call it like insecurity, right? And then they guilt you. They show you this art that are so, like, great for them, but to me they're not really great. To them, this is the greatest, this is the ultimate art of the world, and that they're just pressing on like advertising to girls, like, you have to buy this product if you want to be pretty, and not being pretty, which is you, is no. It's like that. And it was really funny, and I was really angry at that ad, because they're trying to manipulate people into that. It's weird. Anyway, that's it for me for now, and I hope you find that helpful, enjoyable. And as a review, let's see what we've done. I actually created most of the folds in the clothes, and I think this needs some work here. I think I'll just darken it, like, just glaze over it with a darker color, or just veil it with a dark color, mixing black, some opaque black and some semi-opaque browns, to darken this, just actually delete this mostly. I still want to keep it green here. I'll just maybe just figure out a way to minimize this. I think that's the next step. Anyway, that's it for me, and I hope you have a nice day. And I hope you find yourself. Okay. All right.